Today, we raise our wands in honor of one of the best wizards we've ever known. And for those who've grown up in his care and smiling anytime he said, "You're a wizard, Harry," we get it. It's going to be with a bittersweet smile now. But hey, this video will also be a reminder of how magical Robbie Coltrane was, even outside of Harry Potter and his passing at the age of 72. Firstly, Coltrane's final bow. It's not a stretch to say that Robbie Coltrane put immense energy and dedication into his work, especially as Hagrid, a truth that has impacted our generation. His presence for Harry as Hagrid was an essential part of these movies, and no one could have played the Keeper of Keys better. He was an insanely gracious actor, and his work was proof of that. So, when a statement was released that the veteran comic and actor had died on October 14th, there was an intense amount of love outpoured by his fans. They took to social media to state messages like, "Thank you for bringing Hagrid into my life," or "Thank you for accompanying my childhood." And, wow, can we please just ask someone to stop cutting the onions? Thank you. But still, praise for his work doesn't end there. Even his agent, Belinda Wright, called him a special skill, and she'd remember him as a firmly devoted client because, as she also said, he was incredibly bright and amazingly witty, and after 40 years of gladly being called his agent, she'll definitely miss him. If this doesn't prove what an exceptional actor he was, we honestly don't know what will. Following up, the wizarding world's reaction. It became obvious over the years that the memories of making these movies have forever connected the crew and cast. Through good or worse, there are always some nods to each other in the industry. And yes, that is insanely adorable and appreciated by the fandom. So of course, with Coltrane's passing, the stars shared beautiful messages for their friend's loss and remembered his light in their lives. HP author J.K. Rowling gave credit to Coltrane on social media. She wrote, "I'll never know anyone like Robbie again," saying he was a great talent, and she considers herself lucky to have known him, worked with him, and laughed her head off with him. She continued to express her deepest love for his family and his children. Also, Daniel Radcliffe, or the boy who lived, remembered him as one of the funniest people he'd ever met. In fact, he kept loving memories of his friends, especially from the difficult shooting of Prisoner of Azkaban, their third film. But he had become more of an essential part of the HP family, with Emma Watson remembering him as the most fun uncle. He definitely gave those wholesome and yet mischievous vibes as well. And other stars like Tom Felton, Bonnie Wright, Matthew Lewis, and many others gave tribute to their friend. Creating a space on their social media that could have been so comforting to the fandom would have made Coltrane proud. Coming up, let's look at his lasting legacy. While Potter fans loved him as Hagrid, and rightfully so, many 007 fans would know him as part of the Russian mafia, in his role as Valentin Dmitrovich Tchaikovsky in the famous GoldenEye film. Yep, again, he was an actor with an insanely wide range. In the late 70s, he had begun landing small TV and film jobs, and by the mid-1980s, he had proven himself as a reliable comedic actor on sketch shows like Alfresco and A Kick Up with the 80s, and a long-running alt-comedy anthology series called The Comic Strip Presents. And this immersive resume just kept growing when he starred in the BAFT-winning multi-series Tutti Frutti. Then, in what looks honestly like a rite of passage, he also dipped into the world of Shakespeare as he starred in the adaptation of the dramatic Henry V. But what even he regarded as the reason why his career catapulted was being cast in Cracker. Here, Coltrane played a classic, hard-drinking anti-hero detective who excelled at his work, while the rest of his life fell apart. The success of Cracker opened up new doors for the actor in Hollywood because, as he told The Telegraph in 2003, Steven Spielberg is a major admirer of Cracker, which resulted in his 2 Bond flicks. Well, he'd also seemed to be aware of his fortune, as in the same Telegraph interview, he'd said to be grateful to have not been pigeonholed, and genuinely, so are we. Next up, Robbie's magic for Hagrid. See, becoming Hagrid came with more than just physical changes. Coltrane had to fill him with the depth and compassion that he'd gotten from decades of filming, making the lovable half-giant feel not just instantly memorable, but real. And in doing that, he quietly resisted the scripts trying to make the character the comedic relief, or a lovable idiot. Don't get us wrong, Hagrid is lovable and funny, but as is the way adaptations sometimes go, the books gave much more time to flush the complexities out. If you have no idea what we're talking about, from the source material, Hagrid only became a groundskeeper after he had been expelled from from Hogwarts. Believe us, just finding that out in the books added such a huge dilemma for our trust in his character, though in the movies, we got some flashbacks to really get how he'd become the type of weirdo who cared for man-eating spiders, and who named a three-headed dog Fluffy, but a bloodhound Fang. You've gotta dive into the books for this. But with all this said, Robbie's performance is praised by hardcore HP fans because he managed to do his character justice, even when the films made jabs at the character, like when his attraction in the fourth film, Goblet of Fire, caused him to stab another teacher with a fork. Come on, tell us you didn't get weird secondhand embarrassment from that. And still, we can say Coltrane knew how to honor his friend. Let's also talk about his loving words for Hagrid. As was shown in the recent 20-year reunion HBO special, Return to Hogwarts, Coltrane held this part of his journey close to himself, cause he understood the impact being part of these stories would have for years to come. Of course, then, he's been right, as his famous quote from the film is popularly being used in his honor. He stated that the legacy of these films will be that they're shown to his children, and then their children, so that they could be watched for the next 50 years, when he won't, sadly, be here any longer. But Hagrid will. Okay, we said to stop cutting the onions. But he continued to compare Hagrid to Superman, and yep, that is definitely an appropriate comparison, because in his words, as we wished for a good power in the world that was unstoppable to the bad folks, Hagrid was obviously a good guy, wasn't he? I think we can answer that for everyone by saying, of course he was. Always. So, it sure seems like Coltrane's care in crafting his character on screen was done with a certain magical awareness of the significance he held. And yeah, over the years, that has made Hagrid a symbol that helps people like Harry see the goodness in their world. That sort of makes this giant a perfect introduction to what the HP universe stands for, and in no short way is that credited to the actor's love for his work. Moving on, the star's sacrifice for his passion. As of Friday, it was also confirmed by his agent that Robbie was in pain 24 hours a day. As much as the legend focused on and mastered his craft, the Harry Potter star was also pictured left unable to work due to the need for a knee replacement. See, despite the fact that his cause of death is officially unknown, there are close sources that claim osteoarthritis had completely damaged his joint. And he had also released a statement at the time before the operation, saying that while shooting Great Expectations and National Treasure, his time was simply horrific. And yet, the actor, in true bravery, had persevered and really hoped to be back on his feet after the surgery. Well, in this case, we believe we can all choose to applaud the fact that he showed the spirit of a Gryffindor till the very end. Finally, raising our wands and umbrellas as tribute. As fans all across the world mourn Coltrane's passing, visitors to Universal Studios Orlando's Wizarding World paid tribute to the late actor in a beautiful way. See, if you're unaware, on the big screen, fans and regular moviegoers watched him perform magic with a pink umbrella rather than a wand, like what other wizards in the franchise did. It was later explained in the second book and film that his wand was snapped when he was unjustly expelled from Hogwarts. So, it became theorized that portions of his wand were hidden in his umbrella to give him limited magical abilities. Ever since then, the pink umbrella has become an iconic part of the character, and those present at Universal Orlando Resort's Wizarding World of Harry Potter waved their wands and umbrellas in honor of Hagrid and the actor who brought him to life on the big screen. Look, if nothing else, the fandom is dedicated to their details and the rich lore they've known for so long. So, this moment is definitely the wholesomeness we all needed. That's a wrap for this video. What's your favorite memory of Hagrid, or even just Robbie Coltrane in general? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one!